Welcome everybody to the Prosperity Mastermind. I love saying that. I'm Kathy Helwig, of course, and we've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight, and I really want to get it all covered. Let me start with some announcements. Don't forget, next week, Celebration Live. Go to isagenixlive.com, and you can also go to you can go to isagenixevents.com to look at the agenda for celebration and find out what the times are and everything. And so do that and be there and invite your customers and your business builders and anybody else. You could even invite prospects. So let's get as many people on that as possible. It's going to be new information for all of us. And I'm really excited to hear about it. So, and just a reminder, we are now doing a soft launch into 12 new countries, European countries and Japan. And I want to make sure you have your international membership in place and that you're reaching out to people to find out who do you know in any of these countries. We've also got a new toolkit that talks about all the new products that are coming out at Celebration. So you want to check that out. I believe that was posted on the business group. One thing that you might not know is the Crystal Executive Bonus was a temporary promotion. We hope it's going to be permanent, but temporarily until July 12th. So you want to help your current preferred customers become an associate and enroll 2 people in their first 30 days to earn $100. I believe if they become an associate on or before July 12th, then they've still got 30 days to earn that $100 bonus instead of a $50 bonus for becoming a consultant. So let's create some crystal consultants, as many as we can in the next 30 days, okay? All right, down to business. Last week's assignment was for you to create a flip it chart. Remember, you have on the left-hand side all the things you don't want, on the right-hand side all the things that you do want, and to journal all of the things that you do want, and with the emphasis on 90 days from now, this is what it's going to look like because I'm earning this amount of money and I'm able to do this and that and I feel different, and you know, so the journaling of that 90-day goal. Okay, so how many of you did that homework? Show of hands. Okay, good. So I'd like to hear some shares from people. Just what were some awarenesses that you had as you were creating your flip it chart or the journaling. And Bill, we're gonna hold you till last, okay? All right, okay, so Teresa, you have some? I saw your hand up. I don't know if it was up for that or not.
It wasn't, but I can share some of my flip it chart.
What kind of awareness?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, as I did my flip it chart, I actually did it a couple of times, and I redid it today and really just looked at it after my devotional time, because I think sometimes I can get so fixed on just my Isagenix business and all this, and I don't kind of take a step back and look at, you know, the Isagenix and what I want to do with the business is great, but how does that serve our life, you know, in its greater purpose? You know, apart from, you know, I have so many goals that apart from my Isagenix don't, you know, won't make any sense, but when you plug in Isagenix, they do. But I think overall, I mean, my life, you know, for me as a Christian, you know, I have so much that is driven with my life is, you know, I'm here to to know God and to serve him. And so when I looked through my Flip It chart, a lot of it was, you know, revolving around that. And isogenics plays into that as well, because it, you know, through learning more about myself and developing skills and, you know, setting these goals that ultimately serve my family and serve others, you know, that also brings glory to God as I do, you know, go through life and hone these skills for a business that goes beyond that. But I think a lot of it is just, as I look through things I don't want, you know, I, I don't want things that aren't going to ultimately serve myself and then help me serve others. So one of them
Can you
that
name
I
one?
really, you know, had, yeah. So one of them was, you know, having outdated goals, you know, things that I know a lot of times you write things out and they go sit on a shelf, or they sit in a notebook because, you know, life moves on. I wrote it down, I did my job, but, and that's what I think I love about what we're learning, to review these goals, to do it daily, to make sure that they're front and center, to go through and say, I don't want this, I want this, and I'm going to choose to do it. And I got to put in the work, which was another one of mine, unwilling to put in the work. So as I look at the opposite of those and I flip my chart, you know, having those outdated goals means to not have that would be to have continually reviewed goals. So that's every day, putting that, you know, sometimes multiple times a day, but, you know, really tapping into that core feeling and emotion and, you know, really tapping into the depth of it daily.
Great. And were you able to journal after doing the
and then of course, and
I'm sorry, Teresa.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Our internet is terrible out here. So that's why I usually sit and just listen, because even it's just, yeah, it's unfortunately that's one thing I can't really change. So.
Okay, no worries. Let's go on to the next person. Who wants to share? Jordan, Carolyn, Yvonne.
I will.
Awesome.
Ariana helped in our team call when I mentioned that one thing that I want is to be debt-free. And so she said, well, let's go deeper. And so we did. And the one thing that came out with was being able to put money into savings. Whereas now it's like, okay, I can put $25 in savings, woohoo! And seeing the difference between having an abundance to put into savings, like no big deal. Oh, here's 100, I'm gonna put it in savings. And it isn't like I'm sweating to put it in savings. It's there, there's an abundance. The bills are paid for. Everything that I have to pay every month is okay, done. And I have an abundance. So thank you, Ariana. You kind of opened my eyes on that one.
Awesome. Who else?
I have one. In writing what I didn't want to do the business the way I've done in the past, and so a lot of things came up that I need to do to have what I want in my life. So when I was focusing on my customers, that's where a lot of journaling came in. And one of mine was I'm so happy and grateful now that I am attracting passionate business builders who have big dreams and desire to be successful and live the life they love. And in doing that, you know, I'm a dream coach, you know, so I ask him the question, you know, what would your life be like if you could have anything that you wanted and time and money wasn't it? And what are some of the dreams that you've given up on? I got a lot of older people here. And in doing that, I got excited in my imagination from them, because when I have done that, and so that's what I want to do in my business more, is that passion and attracting. Then I had another one was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am excited and growing, that my customers are excited and growing in their dedication to playing full out, attending events, and becoming masters at enrollment, and practicing calls and the tools that are available to them. All those things that I haven't done in wanting it for myself. The way I'm going to get it is, or not get it, the way I'm going to experience it with my clients is that they're excited and they're dedicated to going to the events. And of course, that was living out there. And then, you know, the old limiting beliefs come out, oh, well, I don't feel well and all that stuff. It's such a big when you ask me how I'm feeling. You know, I just want to be in that space that 90 days from now, I can be better than I am today, you know, and
Right.
that excitement and that passion that my customers have. And then my other one was, I'm happy now that my customers are loving the products and are advancing to crystal executives with ease and purpose.
Awesome. You
Yeah.
kind of jumped ahead of us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're only talking about the first block in the template, but that's okay. That's okay.
Myself, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
that-
so something you said, Judy, I think is really relevant and something that maybe others can incorporate as they're continuing to journal and stuff. And that is, what are the dreams you've given up on? You know, I think that's a great question to ask yourself. So awesome. Anyone else? Okay, Bill. Yesterday, I went over to Bill's house and visited him, and he said something to me that was really profound for him. And so I wanted him to share his experience over the last few weeks. So,
Okay.
Oh, Bill, I'm going to have to give you the ability to share your screen.
Yeah, it's disabled right now.
Okay, you're good now.
Okay.
So go ahead. You know, you want to kind of preface it with what you're going to be showing us?
Yes. So so about a month ago, give me just a second. I was in the process of fixing my deck. I had some issues with, can you see that there?
Yep.
I had some issues with the top boards. They were starting to rot out a little bit, and the more that I looked at them, I figured I'd be productive during all this because I'm stuck at home. I'm on a furlough with my job, and decided I'd get that done. The more that I pulled the boards out, the more that I saw needed to be replaced. I got all the boards that I needed replaced, and will that work? No, I gotta, hold on, sorry.
There we go.
All right, so that was one of the reasons I needed to get a lot of the boards replaced, is there was a lot of rot on the boards. Right about that time, I had gotten them all fixed and started the process of improving on that. Right about that time, my brother-in-law said, hey, before we do anything else on your deck, your paint is pretty bad. Why don't we repaint your whole house? And I said, okay, I guess I'm going to drop that project and do this. And I swear there's a point to this story. I'm already long-winded, but I'm doing this as short as I can. There is a point to this. So during that time, we got the house all painted. I did the prep on it all myself, did all that myself. Right about that time, I found a great deal on Flagstone because mine and my wife's favorite 4-letter F word is free. So we went and picked up this Flagstone and decided that we were going to build a Flagstone patio with a fire pit and everything. Normally that's a huge undertaking, but I thought, you know what, totally possible. So along the way, got some free bricks that I got from my brother-in-law and another brother-in-law, and decided, let's do this. So I rented this skid steer from a place for one afternoon, and I dug a hole, and we nicknamed the hole Halfway to Pool because it was about 2.5 feet down, and it looked like we were in the process of building a pool. Along the way, I ran into a couple of hiccups. That is one of the sprinkler lines that I had to replace because I hit it, but that's all right. So then we got to this point, And I mean, that right there looks beautiful. I could have stopped right there. But I kept going. Got the patio all leveled, got that done, got hit with some hail, so that was a little bit of a hiccup there. Now keep in mind that when I rented the skid steer, that was June 19th. We made the goal for ourselves that we were going to have this project and the deck project completed by July 3rd, because we were planning on having a small get together on July 4th. And so we wanted all this completed. So we had a goal for it. We had a time frame, and we had, you know, all the things that we needed done. So came along, kept going. And then this is the completed product. I think I took this picture this morning or yesterday morning. We had the get together. The fire pit worked beautifully. I got deals. Everything along the way, I found deals on. It was amazing. It was like everything just opened up for me. And in the process, also got the deck all finished and completed. And that looks great now, and it's nice and solid and sturdy. And then even along the way, if you look there to the left, that's the new dog run that I put in so that the dogs don't just destroy all of the brand new mulch and bark that I put down. And that's the kids play area. I had already built the swing set, so don't think that I just threw that into the mix too. But I did put all of the mulch down and everything and clean it all up and get a lot of the trash and everything out of there. And now we have a beautiful, that's actually it. That's that's our backyard, the area that I didn't show you before at night, with all the lights that I have in there and everything. And it's an oasis. I love it. Now we just sit out in our backyard and just relax. And it wasn't that way 2-3 weeks ago. So.
Yeah. So Bill, you're talking about 2 to 3 weeks. 2 weeks really from the time you dug that hole.
Yeah, 2 weeks from the start of the hole dig to completion. And the entire backyard looked like a tornado had gone through it before that, because I had the deck project was in transition, and the kids area was a storage pit pretty much, and the area where we built the patio was the one place in the yard that never grew grass, so it was just a dirt mound.
Great. So there's a couple of principles in place in this whole project.
Mm-hmm.
How much would this backyard revival have cost somebody else to maybe hire a contractor or something to put it in? How much would that have cost?
Well, all the research that I did on it after I'd gotten it done, the deck alone was $15,000. I anticipate that if I would have had somebody do the patio and the deck, even giving me a deal, would be somewhere in the ballpark of $30,000 to $40,000 to do it.
So you had a principle in place, the law of attraction.
Yes.
You were dead set. You had a vision in your mind of what you wanted it to look like,
mm-hmm.
what kind of materials you were going to need to build it, and things just showed up. The universe responded.
Yeah.
So how much did it really cost you?
How much did it really cost me? Extra tools that I bought, equipment that I rented, and the materials that I got, I spent, I think, just under $2,000.
Yeah.
But now I have new tools that I get to keep, and and I have this beautiful deck too.
Right. So Bill, you learned something from this whole project.
Yes.
And
so
you said something to me yesterday that is the reason why I wanted you to share tonight.
Yes. So what I learned from this is, when I have a vision and a goal and set a deadline for myself to do something that motivates me, look what I can accomplish in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, literally 2-week time period. I didn't even think I was physically capable of doing that. There were days when I woke up and I just went, I guess I'm going back in the backyard, but I had this goal in mind. Because I'm not, I'm active at work, and that's about it. I don't go to the gym every day. I don't go running or anything like that. So this was all backbreaking work, and I just kept pushing myself. And I mean, my family helped as well. We all kept pushing ourselves because we knew that there was this goal in mind, this July, have it completed by July 3rd so that we can enjoy it on the 4th. And then what I started doing is I started thinking about how this could relate to my isogenics business. It came to me like an epiphany. And this was just 2 days ago. I realized that, I set this goal for myself just over 2 weeks ago, and then just ran with it. And I said, no, 2 weeks is no problem. I can totally get this done in 2 weeks. Having no idea along the way any of the hiccups that could come up, any of the problems that could come up, anything like that, just knowing that this is my goal and this is what's out in front of me. And what if I take this kind of focus that I had with doing this project, and I look at that same lens in my isogenics business. And I mean, it's amazing what I could accomplish in, I did this in 2 weeks. What could I accomplish with my isogenics business in 90 days? So what could happen then? So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen now.
That's awesome. Bill, you can stop sharing now.
Okay.
Screen sharing, I mean. Yeah, wasn't that great?
Very great.
Thank you.
So,
You got
does anybody have any questions or comments they want to make about that? Yeah, Yvonne.
Can you come make my fire pit?
I just talked to one of my coworkers that's also furloughed just today, and I showed him the pictures, and he said, wow, it sounds like you need to start a business. And I said, yeah, I would need people to do it. He goes, I've been talking about getting a general contracting license for a while. So it's one of those things where maybe I'll be doing multiple businesses now.
Well, let's focus on isogenics.
Yes, exactly. Got to do that first.
Yvonne, did you have something?
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
What an encouragement. You set a goal, you knew what you had to do, you had blessings with free things, you saved a ton of money, your yard looks incredible, but the bottom line was you kept that vision. I mean, you went from starting the deck and then, you stopped and went and painted the house. And then you went, okay, well, let's get this going. You had all this going at once, but you kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is such an encouragement to me. So thank you.
Yes. Bill, I'm congratulations. First of all, the patio, around that pit, you and your family, I can just see you having all the fun nights and a lot of fun around that. So
Yeah.
I heard you say, first of all, you had this goal because you wanted to have friends and people over for the 4th of July. And you created the space to have the fun at that time, but your vision was there. And then I love the word FREE. And I think it was amazing that free and freedom were part of your whole thing, because the Freedom Day was out there, and I just kind of connected that, and that freedom, that being free, and you had abundance in that because you had set that free thing, and it had different meanings, and you got the free stone, you got the free bricks, and you experienced a great 4th of July. So I saw your vision when you were talking, and it was a beautiful one with family and people to enjoy that, and a lovely yard for your family. So congratulations.
Yeah.
I can see your mother and dad really enjoying that.
Yes.
We're really proud of them too.
Yeah,
And
I
they
like
even
when you
helped
have
a
a
bit.
vision. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying they even helped a little bit.
Well, I can imagine.
And I just love that you had this vision and it all these things just fell into place and you just kept going, like Judy was saying. And like Yvonne said, you didn't stop, because I know a lot of people that start projects and then they never get done. So yeah, your Ice to Next business is going to be awesome.
Yes.
So how many of you, thank you, Bill. How many of you watched this morning's Dave MacArthur training? So I can't emphasize, thank you guys for those who did. I can't emphasize to you how important it is that you watch that, because it really is going to give you some deeper insights, deeper than we can possibly do, okay? Although we are going to kind of share a couple of those insights on tonight's call, and we're going to go over our half an hour time period because we've got a lot of stuff to cover still. But one of the things that was covered, that Dave covered, was the 6 principles of the mind. Ariana, Lynn, Madeline, does anybody want to share what they learned about those?
I'll share about the one that I heard, which I think Bill really had a principle that he used.
Well, let's go through the 6 principles first, and then you can tell me which one you want to share.
Okay.
So the first one is, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I just wrote what you had said earlier today. Willpower, reason, memory, perception, intuition, and the one I really honed in on this morning was imagination. And what Dave said is, imagination is the best nation you could live in. And I thought, that's a good thing. It just stuck with me. Like, yeah, you're right. You visualize it, you dream it, you see it, and then you just take those actions to make it happen. But go ahead. Anybody else can chime in about anything else that they heard.
I love the whole thing about the drunk monkey. I don't know if you guys have heard about that concept before, but there's this idea that in our brain, you know, we have, sometimes when we just get these thoughts that take over, and it's as if you have no control over them. It's like this little, you know, monkey has a little flask with the 3 X's on it, you know, and it's just going crazy and just drinking and thinking. And really there's no ability to discipline or rein in. It's just, and you're consumed by it too. It's, you know, everything's happening and you have no control. And I really, I love Dave's calls in the morning, because what they do is they set me up for the next hours. And then they really do give me access to something from a point of view that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of today. He's so wise. It's really interesting, the stuff that comes out of his mouth. And when he talked about that drunk monkey, I went, oh my gosh, that monkey was with me this weekend, you know, because the stuff that from the outside, you know, all the noise and the kind of chaos that it seemed to me really stimulated that monkey in me. And I had to catch myself and go, okay, monkey, thank you. I think I need to put you in your cage for a while and take that bottle away from you. You know, just calm down, because it really does, when you allow that state to take over, you don't have access to anything but survival. And I know, Bill, if you had that monkey, you know, these last few weeks, your project would not have been fulfilled on, right? And the monkey may have come in, you know, like when your friend says, let's paint your house, and the monkey's going, what? You know, but it's so perfect to have that, to have those distinctions, because that's all that these things are. They're distinctions, things that you can remember that will trigger for you what you need to come back to. And it's always going to be that one singular thing. That's the thing that we always want to keep putting our focus back on, right? Because every distraction is equal if it's not about your goal.
Yeah, and you know, the drunk monkey really represents the past, right? The bad things that may have happened to you in the past. whether or not we think they're bad, but you think they're bad, right? And that's where the chatter comes from, like you're not good enough, and oh, you know, here we go again. And so keep in mind when that chatter comes, that's the drunk monkey. And like Ariana said, you want, as soon as you recognize the drunk monkeys in the room, then you go to the good memories or to the vision that you have in front of you. And you, because the good memories can be anything that inspired you, or you got accolades for, got praise for, you know, things that you can remember and feel good about, right? So that's good. So that's the memory principle, right? Anybody else want to share anything else on those principles? All right.
First of all, I just want to ask one question. Is his call every morning? Is that the
Every Monday morning.
This Monday?
Yeah, Eastern time it would be at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, the intuition, imagination I love, but the intuition, you know, when I think with my mind, that little monkey is in my head a lot of times. And the intuition, when I'm letting my heart be open and listening, like my listening to that small voice, that when I'm now knowing that God is giving me guidance, but we have intuition, and there's just some knowing that that you got to trust and be brave and jump out and not say, oh, you know, be afraid of it, but just to acknowledge it. And when you've had a good experience of that confirmation or whatever it might be that triggers your intuition, and have the boldness and courage to jump in and do it, and know even not how you're going to do it, but you know it's going to be something good. Just like I knew isogenics was a calling, you know, and I don't know, that's for me what that intuition is. My heart wells up, and there's just something that I know is going to be good, and then sometimes all that chatter comes in and holds me back. But when I jump in, it's usually turns out great. But I've had really fears to not do that at times. That's all. But intuition, I'm trusting my intuition more.
Yeah, and keep in mind these 6 principles of the mind, they were inherited. We as offspring of God, we inherited them from our Creator, right? And so that's why we are creative beings. We're able to have a vision and bring it to fruition, right? And so let's embrace these 6 principles. Madeline.
Yeah, Judy brought up something that happened to me last week. We have a guy that's helping us with our sound when Eddie does his Friday Night Lives, and he's very overweight. He has asthma, he's got diabetes, and he's extremely resigned about all of that. And my intuition said I need to share with him, you know, even if he says no. And I'll just say, you know, all of this identity that I've been looking at, like my old identity is like, yeah, right, probably won't work, so why bother? You know, that was kind of like some of that internal drunk monkey chatter, right? And I just thought, no, you know, I just feel like doesn't matter if he says no, I just need to share. My intuition is I just need to say a little bit about isogenics and tell him and how I think I can help him. And he said, okay, I'll look at the link. And then we talked, and he said, I'm going to try this. But he said, I'm extremely skeptical. I'm extremely resigned. And today we talked, and I could still hear a little resignation. He's starting his products tomorrow. And he's excited and hopeful as well. So if I had allowed that internal chatter just to keep going, I wouldn't have said anything. And I feel like, who knows what difference we're going to make for him. You know, maybe his blood sugar will balance out. Maybe his asthma will calm down. Maybe none of it. Maybe he'll just lose 10 pounds. But that's great, right? Maybe he'll just feel better. So
that's a great segue into the next thing we wanted to talk about, and
yeah.
that is justification. So when we don't do what we know is important to do towards furthering our business, we just don't do it. There is some sort of justification that we have for not doing it, right? Madeline could have gone into justification for not furthering that conversation with her friend. But what was more important to Madeline was the goal, the vision, the outcome that she was looking for, right?
Yeah, I would say it was to enroll him. It really was to help him. And so that's what I kept going to. Like, I will let myself down if I don't share with him. I will let him down if I don't share, if I don't give him that choice to say no. All those things would happen. And so justification just couldn't fit in there.
Yeah, well, you just defined the value that you are, right? So awesome.
I didn't think about me as being value, but I just figured I'm the messenger of the value. But you're right, I'm going to be coaching him. So I guess I should own that.
So every time you don't take an action that you know will help you reach your goal, you want to take a look at the justification that you're using in that moment. And if you think there isn't one, there is. And justification is you looking back at something that you remember from the past. It's kind of like the drunk monkey, but it's an inaction that an action that you've not taken, and you're justifying it somehow, right? And the only reason you'd want to look back to your past, again, is if it inspires you, right? Because the inspiration will move you forward. And if you don't address the justifications, you will stay stuck. All right? So we have a new assignment for this week. And it is a new flip it chart. So the last one was the I don't want and the what I do want, right? This one is identify some of the justifications that you make when you're not in action, when you're stuck. It might be a time justification. It might be, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings justification. Just think of things that you know has stopped you. It may be a lie that you've got stuck in your head, right? Anybody want to share one that you know can stop you? Kim.
Yep. I don't want to come off as being a salesperson.
Another lie, right? Would you say that that's a lie, Kim?
Yes. Well, and to go further, like, that's the only reason why I'm calling you, is because I want to sell you something.
Right. Right.
Yes, that's a lie, because I really want to help people.
Yeah. Exactly. Alex.
Not the perfect product for the product.
Oh, okay. So if
my
the
son
justification
says, Mom, you're justified. I am the master of justification. I have become so aware of that. Thank you, my son. Just a story. And I'm justified. So he has been a really good anchor for me on that one.
Awesome. And we can all be anchors for each other, just as you're working together, just recognize and just say, hey, do you mind if I share what I'm seeing, right? Ask permission and then share what you're seeing, because it might be a blind spot for the person you're talking to, for one of us. I know I have lots of blind spots. Okay. So
So is there,
That's,
are there two sides to the chart or just one?
there are. So you've got one side that is the justifications that you're recognizing that you use. What do you think would be on the other side?
Truth.
The opposite, or how to unjustify?
How about all of the things in life that inspire you to move forward? All of the reasons, all of the payoffs of moving forward. Okay. All right. Second part of the assignment. Still working on your template. You've done your journaling for the box number 1, which is what your life looks like in 90 days. Then the next 2 things that we want to work on are the number 2 and number 3. What does it look like for your customer? And what does it look like for your business builder, your raving fans, your new consultants, your new executives, whatever you want to call them? So in the next 90 days, what does it look like for your customers? Now, I recommend you journal first before you fill out that box. Journal all the things that you can imagine that your customer will experience out of the value that you're giving them.
If anybody has, I'm sure you all have done number 6 with Dave, which is all on this template. I didn't realize it's going to be 2 hours. I have to watch that for a month because there's so much meat in it. But he was giving a lot of great ideas of just that. I was writing them down as fast as I could because they were just great. So he really sparks you on good.
Yeah,
good things there.
Judy's referring to the training on the template. And I think it's number 8, isn't it?
No, number 6.
Is it number 6? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's 2, like 6 and 8, and 8 is the most recent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was one. Yeah, that was one of your first assignments. So if you haven't done that, go back and watch it. Okay. Let's see. One other thing. Oh, we've got a bingo game coming up. Is that next week, Ariana? The 14th of July. So just to help new people, once a month we're doing a bingo game. You can invite your customers, your friends, your prospects. It's a fun 45 minutes to an hour where we're playing bingo online, and we are giving out prizes, and there's a door prize as well. So it's just a lot of fun. People can bring their kids, you know, and so we'll be promoting that in the next week or so.
And what time is that again, Kathy?
Somebody help me with that.
5:30 Pacific, so 6:30, 7:30, 8:30.
Okay.
Kathy, I want to say something a little bit about the ISA Bingo. ISA Bingo is this fun thing, and you can invite people. It's a tool, guys. And we've been talking a lot about how this first month is we're going to be reconditioning what we think. So the actions seem a little bit sort of inner, they're internal. And Dave keeps saying, you want to be in action anyway. You want to give yourself the opportunity to take actions like Madeline did, and like Bill did with his other focus, right? He took action. And even though we're saying we're going to be working mostly on our minds for the first 30 days, use the tools we're giving you. We're handing you little golden nuggets that you can just share with your friends and invite them to have a little fun with us. We do those little commercials. So, and it's totally easy and low key. It's like no pressure to do or buy or anything, just have fun. So that's a tool. Be in action with that tool and see what happens.
Yep. No, so remember the laws. There's the law of non-resistance. If you resist inviting people, you're going against the law. There's the law of attraction. If you're really, intent about having people show up at your bingo game, then those people are going to show up for you to invite, right? So there's other laws too, but we've gone 45 minutes. So thank you guys for coming, for participating, for really putting your heart into this. I promise you, at the end of the 90 days, you're not going to be the same person. And that's probably a good thing. All right. Love you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.